Hi, my name is Peter. I'm 22 years old, and for the past 8 years, I've been living on the road and off the grid with my family, documenting our journey on our YouTube, The Epic Family Road Trip. Today, I'm sharing my adventures on my own channel, The Adventure Guys. My dream is to show you the remote places of the world by land, air, and sea, and to one day buy some land and build a homestead. We're back in the boat. Today has been fun because I came back here to the marina to find my boat was moved from the area where we lift boats in and out, and there was another boat in place there. So the marina owner and Willem and some of the guys moved the boat into a nice slip here. It's actually in a beautiful spot. It's where I was hoping. I came out and walked it the other day as well, and was kind of hoping for a spot a little further out into the water, and I got one. It's surrounded by other beautiful sailboats. One of the guys who has a sailboat right beside me, and he went out sailing with his family. It looked really awesome for a sailboat to just putt out of here and then start making its way out into the bay and then sailing. And he had a beautiful boat. But anyway, my boat's coming along, still full of stuff, but this box, which was completely full to the brim with things that I needed to take out and add to the boat slowly, has been getting smaller and smaller. Now it's mostly just straps, a bag, and then a bag full of flares and emergency signaling equipment, which I will find a place for. I'll probably build this little cubby area behind me here to be where storm gear goes. I don't expect to be out in many storms, since this is my first ever season sailing, but I'll probably get a full rain suit of some kind, a bright one, and then I brought this life jacket. It's one I thought would be most fitting. We have a bunch of different styles, but this I think is more for in canoes or on a raft or something for rivers. But any sort of personal flotation device I think will do to keep me afloat in case I fall in or get knocked out or something. So that one is good for now. I'll have that hanging on a clothes rack today. That'll be the very first thing I put in that closet, which is kind of cool. No clothing or anything, of course, yet, but a life jacket. So I'll start with the necessities and then slowly build it up. But I actually really hope to this weekend go out, maybe with Dan. I just need to make sure I've got all the rigging in place. There's still some things I need to do. I just attached the lazy jacks, and I got the mainsail up yesterday. So the mainsail is actually on. The other next big thing is this guy here. It's a big Genoa jib. It's my head sail, so that's got to go up on the furler. I was planning on doing that this evening here, but a bunch of other stuff got in the way, but I might come a lot earlier tomorrow, get that furled, get my tiller on, because I stuck the rudder in place, which I'll show you in a minute, but the rudder was super easy to get into place. But my tiller, I'm missing the hardware, so I actually have to go back to the island and watch my video on when I was sanding the wood, because I can't remember whether I pulled the bolts out or something to sand under it and then never put them back and just left them at the island somewhere, or if they had any bolts to begin with and it's always been just missing the hardware. It's not the end of the world if it is. They've got a lot of floating free hardware here at this marina that I could probably jimmy rig up something that's really strong. It doesn't have to be the strongest thing on earth, as long as it's not bolts that stick a mile out or anything. I'll find the best fitting ones possible and get the tiller attached, and then I got the steering lock on my Tohatsu outboard. The outboard runs beauty. It runs perfectly. So once the tiller's on, I've got steering, I've got the mainsail up, and then soon I'll have my head sail and I'll be ready to actually go sail, which is awesome. So I'm trying to convince Dan to come with me on the Maiden Voyage. That way there's two of us that either have a really fun time or we both end up stranded. But either way, I think company makes either case a little bit more fun. If you're having fun sailing, it's beauty with another guy. If you're stuck, at least you've got another guy there. So that's my plan anyway, is to try to rope him into that. So yeah, it's a beautiful evening, and this is a dream come true, having my boat floating in its own little slip here at a harbor. It's really something else, and doing this sort of stuff I can really envision once I'm actually sailing and going to new places, new ports and things around the world one day, but around the Great Lakes in probably for this season. It'd be super cool to just go explore areas I've never been to in a way I've never done, and you know, just have a whole new way of adventuring open up to you like this is very, very cool. Got this vacuum from the island, so now I'll be able to clean up all the little spots. As you can see, there's a little bit of dirt, and from all my prior work on the boat, there's a decent amount of dirt all over the ground, and especially up in the cockpit there. So get that all done, and then work on the tiller. The tiller is, I put the rudder in, but the tiller's missing 2 screws, so I'll kind of be finding screws later today and just get some ones that fit, some good nuts on the end, and that should work great. So my next big thing really will be getting the head sail up. So I think I have a Genoa jib, and I've got a furler up front. It's pretty much all ready to go. I attached the furler's halyard to the top of it. So really, it'd be just taking the sail out, getting it all kind of prepped with this side of the line, this side of the sail, the side that'll be going up through the channel. I'll be just positioning it properly, getting it slipped into the channel and clipped onto the bottom of the furler, and then as I guess as a solo guy, I'll just be pushing it up, feeding it through and pushing it up, feeding it through and pushing it up until I get the whole sail up in there, and use something to block the bottom of the channel so that it doesn't all come sliding out. And I'll run to the back, pull up on the halyard, raise it all the way to the top of the furler boom there. Yeah, then I can, you know, furl it into place. The furler just makes setting up the head sail a lot easier because it's just pulling it to furl it up again and releasing it to allow it to free spool, and then I can pull on the 2 jib main lines to unfurl it to whatever side I'm going to be using it on. Well, we got the head sail on. And I ran all the lines back. So we're mostly ship shape. Now it's just that tiller. I'm so excited my head sail went up as easy as it did. That was something that's been bugging me for a bit, is whether or not I'd be able to do it myself, and it was simple. Thankfully there was like pretty much no wind. Just pulled up on the halyard, had very little hiccups, tiny little bends in the sail that wouldn't let it feed properly, but then it, you know, just went up there, moved them, fed perfectly, and the sail was raised, and then it took a bit to yank on it, but I realized I had the rope going on the outside of the bow of the boat, and it wasn't letting it pull properly, so I had to really crank on it, and then I just ran up to the front and pulled on it at the source, and it was super easy to furl up. So yeah, I rigged it up properly now, and it pulls a lot easier, so it should be easy to do. So tomorrow is hopefully going to be the Maiden Voyage.
We were cruising out of the channel when my throttle cable came loose. I was able to make a quick repair, and we carried on out to the open water.
Alright, well, Dan and I are making our way out. It's a bit nerve-wracking at first. The throttle cable came undone, so stuck in like idle, but we were able to cruise out, not touch any other boats safely, and just make our way out into Georgian Bay here, and hopefully set sail. It looked like 10 knot winds. It was kind of dying off here in the evening, but this evening was really the best time, since tomorrow's looking like 35 knot winds out here in the bay, so not ideal for a maiden voyage, and really my time sailing in the biggest sailboat I've ever sailed in. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. The engine's running good. She steers. It's actually a really exciting feeling heading out for the first time like this. Get my compass out. west into the sun. Try raising the mainsail. Help that one up above it. Anyone that pinches. If I can't pull it up, something's majorly wrong.
Just like overlanding or moto adventures, the shakedown trip is where you find the loose bolts and work out all the bugs. No different in sailing. We noticed the starboard side lazy jack was holding the mainsail from being able to fully raise and pulling the slugs of the mainsail tight against the mast so it wouldn't raise easily. Once we fixed the issue, the mainsail went up easy and we were soon underway.
Got the wind coming directly over my shoulder. So we're got the wind at our backs. This is called a run. You just let your main sheet out, and the mast or the boom swings out, and you kind of catch the wind as it's coming that way. But as we round this corner, I'll start to head into the wind, almost on a broad reach. I'll definitely tighten up the main sheet as we go. Meaty then. We're filming on a phone right now because it's we're kind of both paying more attention to sailing than to the filming, but what a fun thing. I've got my head sail fully out, mainsail in, we're sailing beautifully into the wind, just heading into the bay. I'm using Navionics to navigate, so just keeping on the recommended path, but we're probably gonna have to tack here soon and head across the bay. We might do 1 or 2 tacks and then flip around and start making our way back since the sun's setting, and I actually haven't figured out how to get my anchor out, so we can't find just a good camp and anchor in it. But yeah, we're heeling over a little bit. We're catching some pretty decent wind here. It's so tippy.
did our first tack. Now we're heading like southeast, 140 degrees southeast, catching the wind. Not quite a broad reach, but we're probably going, you know, perfectly diagonally into the wind. I forget what it's called when you're in pointing almost upwind, but I'm just gonna keep my eye on navionics while I learn these the depths of the area and stuff, so we stay safe. There we go.
I know these waters like the warts on my grandmother's face.
Yeah, not quite.
You know how pretty it looks behind you right now?
Try to get a little more into the wind. I wonder, let's let some... The jib is beginning to luff and we're losing power. You see that? We lost all power. This better. That's called luffing the sail. And I'm going to turn into it. And just like that, we're back to business like normal.
Should I tie this one up?
Just leave it loose. Wow, we're really getting a good heel over it.
Yeah.
Look at that. Woo! That's a good breeze here. We're heading perfectly in the wind here. That's too fun. Let's just stay on this line. I was gonna show really yeah, let's try to pick up some more speed. There we go. Feel it heel, and you can see the two lines, what are they called, the indicator tags up there. They're both flying straight. You're flying a good line. We're heeling over a decent, just a little bit. We're probably only like 20 degrees. We still got a long way to go before it's anything, but I'd say right now we feel it pretty good. If I want to like lose some speed fast, that's how. See how that instantly brought us back flat pretty much? Pull it in. We're going again. I need to figure out a better system of yanking this rope, but wow, we are getting significantly forward. Waves aren't too bad. I gotta check what wind speeds it is, but I'd say it's probably 15 knots at least, and little 2-foot waves. It's not bad for a first time out. We'll probably, I'll continue on this line for a bit, and then we'll swing around, head back. We're making our way back into port there. then you might have to put down the cam. We'll check the depths and then chart a course for home. Try it, go under. Pretty comfy though, eh?
So you're gonna loosen that one. Yep. Push the eyelets a bit.
We're making our way back. Pulled down the mainsail and furled up the jib. I'm cruising back because my nav lights and mast light, and I do have an aft light actually, but most of my lights aren't actually connected right now. The electrical situation is a little bit shoddy, and that makes it a bit weird coming in the dark. So we're gonna beat the sunset, get docked up, and I've had a successful first run of my boat. Still don't have a name for her, but I'm sure I will soon. Yeah. Great time out here on Georgian Bay. It was actually beautiful. Like I said, about 15 knot winds probably, and just good sailing. It was fun. Wow, we actually sailed it. Definitely, I don't know, a way crazier feeling with a much bigger boat. Everything was faster, bigger, and it was more fun. The water out there is huge. I mean, we barely even got out into the bay and the waves were splashing up over the deck, and just a lot of fun. So we tacked our way out a decent bit, like a couple kilometers out into the bay, and then turned around and made our way back. And then putt-putted our way back here into the harbor. Did it all without incident, so that's pretty awesome. Everything worked. Everything but one of the lazy jacks I had to disconnect. It was too tight and it was interfering with the sail. As I went up, it got caught in one of the battens, so I couldn't raise the sail. So I just quickly untied it, but that unrigged it, so it's just flopping up there and the rope's flopping down on the boom. But short of that, everything went really smoothly. Taking down the sail was easy, just straight down. Furled up the jib. That's the main thing I was worried about, was the jib. For some reason I was concerned with whether or not that would furl properly, but we loosened both of them. It went dead into the wind. I just cranked on it, furled right up perfectly.
is my shore power plug-in. It's like a 30 amp converter to this regular power cable, and it runs up to the front of the pier. It's bright enough power to keep my one battery going, keep it charged. There we go. Well, that was a successful day. We'll be back out another day and sail some more, figure some more stuff out. That was a lot of fun.